Hi guys, and welcome to my new QR Code Showcase side series. Wow, that was a mouthful. But basically what we're going to do in this little side series is I am going to go on to the Global Link website where everyone can go. So if you haven't done this already, kind of go on there. You can look for QR code teams that players have used on the battle spot or used in practice, competitions, whatever, and have donated the QR codes of these teams to the Global Link website, where players can kind of go on and take a look at the team and then pull up the QR code and use them on the battle spot ladder. So within this series, what I want to do is kind of just, we're going to concentrate on the teams I build in my School of Hard Knocks episodes, but to kind of broaden your horizons, get you more aware with newer Pokemon, this seems like a great way to do it. And by showcasing these successful teams, I'm not only playing like just different things that you might have seen, I'm also showing definite teams that have worked, and hopefully by doing this it's going to really benefit you guys and just show you different things as well. So it's kind of keeping the channel a bit fresh and the content a bit fresher. So that was a kind of a little idea what I had, and hopefully you guys are going to get a lot of benefit out of me doing this. So today's episode, we're going to start off episode number one with, so as soon as I came on the Global Link website and had a look for QR codes, I came across this team. So this is a team a Japanese player has donated to the Global Link website. It finished, I think, pretty highly in Season 1 of the Battle Spot season under the World Championship Series rules, and it has a really phenomenal record. I think it's the highest rated doubles battle QR code team at the moment. So I thought, what better team to start with? So the team itself, we'll just take a quick overlook. It's got Tapu Koko with Choice Specs, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Discharge, Dazzling Gleam, Tapu Fini with a Life Orb, Psychic, Moonblast, Taunt, Protect, a Choice Scarf Kartana. We have a Grandroom Z Garchomp with Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Poison Jab, and Protect, an Assault Vest Arcanine, which is going to be really interesting to use with Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Extreme Speed, and Bulldoze. And obviously the Mandibuzz is the last Pokemon to make up the 6, with Foul Play, Snarl, Tailwind, and Roost with the Psychic Seed. So guys, without any further stumbling along and going on a bit, we will just jump straight into the battle. So here you can see on my screen now, I've scanned in the team and we are ready to go. So we'll click in. Yes, I'm on a different cart, so I'm on my moon cart today, so we'll have a fresh record, but that shouldn't matter too much. We will just jump straight into the match and see how we get on with this team. Obviously, I don't know too much about the team. I haven't played with it before, so I'm going to be learning about it as well as you guys. So hopefully I can talk through it the best I can, and we'll have some good battles. So I don't know how long I'll use each team for, but we'll get a good feel for each team, and then we'll kind of move on and have a look through and see what other interesting teams we can find, and we'll kind of just carry this on. If it's something you guys like and want to see, obviously let me know in the comments below, because this is something I'm just trying to trial at the minute. So if it is content you guys want to see, I will definitely continue it. Anyway, we have our first opponent, Beast, with a team of Magnezone, Gyarados, Milotic, Nihilego, Alolan Muck, and Alolan Ninetales. So, what are we going to do here? Now, the choice, we've got Choice Scarf Kartana, which would be pretty nice against the Nihilego, the Ninetales, the Milotic, and the Gyarados. We do have to be careful, obviously, if that Magnezone has got the Magnet Pull ability, but I think we're probably pretty safe to lead off. I think I'm actually going to lead off with Tapu Koko Kartana. I'm going to bring Garchomp in the back with, let's think, what do we need? Mandibuzz, Arcanine. Arcanine might be quite nice here. Obviously he's got double water, so we need to watch out for that. But against the Ninetales, I think what we'll do, we'll go for the Arcanine in our last slot. We need to be careful with the Nihilego and the double water, but we have got the Assault Vest on the Arcanine, which should shore up those defenses a bit more. So we'll see how we get on with that. It's weird. I've literally just scanned the team in, looked at it pretty much as you've looked at it, so I know about as much information about the team as you guys, so this will be quite interesting, but hopefully we get there as we go along. And the team's performed pretty well so far from its rating on the QR code ladder, so let's hopefully it kind of portrays through this. So my opponent is going to lead off with the Gyarados. We'll get the Intimidate off onto my Kartana and Tapu Koko and the Alolan Muck. So let's see what we can do here. Now Leaf Blade might be quite nice onto the Gyarados because we are threatening the Gyarados pretty heavily with our Kartana and our Tapu Koko here, and we do need to be careful for that Muck though. So what I might do is just Leaf Blade into the Gyarados. And have we got Volt Switch on the... Yeah, we've got Volt Switch on the Tapu Koko, so I'm just going to Volt Switch into the Muck and probably bring in my... So we actually see a Protect from the Muck, and what are we going to see? An Earthquake from the Gyarados maybe? If we do, it's not the best start to this match. So we get the Leaf Blade off onto the Gyarados, we do Volt Switch into the Muck, but we are going to see an Earthquake from this Gyarados, which is not us off to the best start. We do survive, so it's not too bad, but we've obviously now got to be aware of the Shadow Sneak from the Muck. But the thing is, what has my opponent got on the back? Because he can't just free the Earthquake again, because he's got nothing to switch in from the... If he's going to Earthquake again, he's going to be hitting his Muck, so he's not really going to want to do that. He's got nothing with Levitate or Flying type in the back, so I presume he might just go for either Protect the Gyarados this turn, or sacrifice his Muck. But I'm just going to go for a Volt Switch into the Muck again, just to try and... Yeah, so the Gyarados actually does protect this turn. We will get the Volt Switch off onto the Muck, doing not too bad damage. And then we'll see what this Muck goes for. Might go for a a knockoff into Kartana, possibly. We do proc the Figgy Berry, and we will bring in... Who are we going to bring in here? I'm going to bring in the Garchomp, because if he does go for a knockoff into that slot, then at least he's not going to be doing too much damage, and he can knock off the Kartana, but he actually goes for the Poison Jab into the Garchomp, so Garchomp will take that quite nicely. Does take a bit of rough skin damage, and now we know that. Do we have... Right, so what I might do is go for a Leaf Blade into the Gyarados, and... I think I'll just go Dragon Claw into it as well, and hopefully that combination will pick up the KO onto the Gyarados. So we see no Protects come out here. We get the Leaf Blade off into the Gyarados. The Dragon Claw should be enough to pick up the KO, and we get rid of the Gyarados, so that's fine. So we're not in too bad a position. The Muck goes for a knockoff into the Kartana. Will knock off its Choice Scarf, unfortunately. And I imagine the Ninetales might come in here, so we have to be a bit precarious going into the next turn. So it might be a case that my opponent hasn't actually brought the Ninetales, because he brings in the Nihilego in place of that Gyarados. So what I might do here... We do have to be careful for that Shadow Sneak off the Muck. But I think what I'll do is go for a Smart Strike into the Nihilego, and I'm going to bring in my Arcanine just to get an Intimidate off onto both opposing Pokemon, especially that Muck. So if we can get an Intimidate off onto it, hopefully the Shadow Sneak won't be enough to take the Kartana out, and we should be outspeeding the Nihilego anyway. Obviously depending on how this Kartana's EV'd, so we don't know. Ooh, it might not be Jolly, so it might be... yeah, it is actually outspeeding. So it does go for a Hidden Power onto the Kartana, which isn't ideal. It does get the Beast Boost, so we're not sitting in the greatest of positions here, to be honest. I'm going to bring my Garchomp in here, and I'm going to try and get a Bulldoze off with my Arcanine and protect my Garchomp, so at least the next turn will be outspeeding the Nihilego. Hopefully my opponent doesn't go for the Power Gem into the Arcanine, but we are Salt Vested, so I don't know after one Beast Boost if that Power Gem will be enough to take out the Arcanine, but we will see. Unfortunately, though, my opponent does bring the Milotic, so it will get a boost after this Bulldoze and its special attack, so it will be threatening us quite badly. We do get the Bulldoze off, which actually picks up the KO onto the Nihilego, which is brilliant. We do drop the speed of the Milotic, but we do take care of the Nihilego. I didn't actually think that would take it out. I guess it is 4 times weak to ground type attacks, so now we've just got that Muck and the Milotic to deal with. But the Arcanine does have Wild Charge, and we still have our Ground Room Z to take advantage of. So what I might do is go for a Tectonic Rage into the Milotic and follow it up by doubling into it with a Wild Charge as well. And hopefully that combination should be enough to take down this Milotic. I wouldn't be surprised if it does survive the Tectonic Rage, but hopefully the Wild Charge will be enough to, and we outspeed obviously. Well, we definitely will outspeed after the Bulldoze. So we get the Tectonic Rage off onto the Milotic, and we'll see if how much damage this does. So it just hangs on, but we do get the Wild Charge off, which will pick up the KO, so that's nice. And now we've just got the Muck to deal with. So we somehow managed to get ourselves through this match, although it's not over yet. We take a Poison Jab from the Muck, and now we're down to my opponent's last Pokemon. So I think what I'll do, I'll just Dragon Claw and I will go for a Flare Blitz. So, and we'll see what my opponent's going to go for, if he's going to still try and, yeah. So my opponent's not giving up, which is the best spirit to have. We get Dragon Claw off and the Flare Blitz, which should be close to maybe even picking up the KO. And yeah, Arcanine picks up the KO there. So we go into that first match with a win. So it's not too bad. And obviously we've got a lot of adjusting to do to get used to the team and remembering what sets are on everything. And it would probably be an idea to have a look at some of the spreads in natures, just in case we get into situations like we did there with the Muck knocking off the Choice Scarf. You kind of just assume from using Kartana that it will be max speed, but obviously with the Choice Scarf it makes no sense to run Jolly as well, because you're already going to be outspeeding everything with the Scarf, so you kind of want to go down a route where you probably use an Adamant to get more power out of your attacks with that nature, so that would make more sense. So we will, before we go on to the next, well, yeah, when we get into the next match we'll have a quick look at, because I don't think we can in between matches, but as soon as we get into the next match we will have a look at some of the spreads and things like that. So it's not too bad a start. You have to bear with me guys, because I've never done anything like this before, so I might be mumbling a bit as we go through. But with saying that, we have our next opponent, who is from Japan, with a team of Starmie, Tapu Lele, Porygon 2, Gigalith, Kartana and Arcanine. So he's obviously got quite a fast mod with the Tapu Lele and the Starmie to take advantage of the Psychic terrain there. So we need to be careful for that. He's got the Trick Room mode with the Porygon 2 and the Gigalith, and then obviously Intimidate support through the Arcanine and the Kartana to make up the 6. So what are we going to do here? Let's have a look. See what we've got on our Mandibuzz. Do we have Taunt? So we don't have Taunt on our Mandibuzz, but we do have Taunt on our Tapu Lele. But then Tapu Lele, we don't really want to, I'm not really feeling too confident about bringing the Tapu Lele here, just for the Taunt, to be honest. Although it might be a good idea. So I might lead Tapu Lele Arcanine here actually. So I'm just going to go completely back on what I said. I definitely want to bring my I definitely want to bring the Garchomp, and I'm going to bring the Kartana as well as my last one. So I'll lock in with those and see how we get on this match. So yeah, it's definitely probably more advisable for me, I think, going into this just kind of off the cuff to stop the Trick Room if I can. Obviously, you don't want to allow the Porygon 2 to get that up and then allow the Gigalith to start just firing off attacks willy-nilly. So we're going to lead off with our Tapu Lele and Arcanine, and my opponent is going to lead off with the Starmie and Tapu Lele. Okay, so we're not in an ideal situation because that Starmie will have the Psychic Terrain to boost its Psychic type attacks. It will be outspeeding my Arcanine as well. But we do have the Assault Vest, so we're not in the worst. We're not in the worst of positions here. So what is my opponent going to go for? Let's think. What have we got to bring in? Not really got anything I want to switch in at the moment. What I might do is just go for a Moonblast onto the Starmie and yeah, I think I'm going to double into the Starmie. So we are going to get the Moonblast off first. Oof, very close to a KO with the Life Orb there. And we're actually going to be outspeeding. So that Starmie looks as though it might have actually been going for a Trick Room. Possibly. So we do stop that. So that's quite nice. And we'll see what the opposing Tapu Lele goes for a Dazzling Gleam. It does quite good damage onto my Tapu Lele. But we do know we're outspeeding with both of my Pokemon here. So it'll be interesting to see what my opponent brings in. Maybe the Porygon 2? Yeah. So what we'll do now is prioritize getting the Taunt off onto the Porygon 2. It does have the Trace ability, so we'll get an Intimidate off onto both of my Pokemon. But to prevent the Trick Room being set up, what I'm going to do is just go for a Taunt onto the Porygon 2, and what are our options with... I think I'm just going to... Yeah, rather than switch anything in at this point, I'm just going to go for a Flare Blitz and start chipping down my opponent's Tapu Lele. So we'll go for the Flare Blitz and the Taunt. So we go for the Taunt, we get it off onto the Porygon 2. So hopefully we shut down that Trick Room. We will get the Flare Blitz off onto the Tapu Lele. This should do decent enough damage even after the Intimidate. So yeah, looking about 30-40% damage there. And we're going to take another Dazzling Gleam, which probably will pick up the KO onto my Tapu Lele. Ooh, so we just hang on. And the Porygon 2 did go for the Trick Room, but because of the Taunt, we prevented it. So what I'm going to do is go for a Psychic and... I could just try and get rid of this. Could just double up into the Tapu Lele here. And I think I might just do that. I think I might just go Moonblast and Flare Blitz into the Tapu Lele and just try and clear it off the field now. So yeah. Get the Moonblast off onto the Tapu Lele. The recall damage from the Life Orb on our Tapu Lele, so we will faint unfortunately, and we will get the Flare Blitz, which should take down the Lele on my opponent's team. And we'll see what the Porygon 2 goes for. And it goes for the Thunderbolt. So that's fine. And because of the Assault Vest, we take that with really nicely actually. Now, I'd imagine my opponent to have the Gigalith in the back. So just because of that, I'm going to bring in my Garchomp. Yeah, and here comes the Gigalith. So we do obviously have to be really careful of the ice beam from that Porygon 2. So what I might do here, just to kind of yeah, just to scout out that ice beam, because my opponent might go for the Protect on the Gigalith to kind of scout out the Tectonic Rage and ice beam my Garchomp. What I'm going to do is switch out my Arcanine to my Kartana and just protect my Garchomp this turn, just to kind of burn their potential Protect coming out. So we'll go for Protect. Gigalith actually goes for the Protect, so we called that quite nicely. And yeah, Porygon 2 goes for the Ice Beam into the Garchomp. So now we've got a way better chance to actually just get rid of this Gigalith. So we will go for the Tectonic Rage into the Gigalith with our Garchomp, and we'll go for a Sacred Sword on to the Porygon 2 with our Kartana. And the taunt still hasn't worn off with the Porygon 2, so we're alright for this turn, so we're not threatened by any Trick Room this turn. We potentially will lose our Garchomp. Gigalith goes for the Protect. Oh, and it actually gets it, so my opponent gets a double Protect off. So we'll probably lose our Garchomp this turn, which is really unfortunate. We get a big Sacred Sword off onto the Porygon 2. We are going to get the Tectonic Rage off, but it's going to be hitting through a Protect, so it's not going to be doing as much damage, which is super unfortunate. But it's what my opponent really had to go for in this situation, otherwise it would have been a clean one-hit kill. We still shouldn't be in too bad a position. So we get the Tectonic Rage off. It's not going to do too much damage at all. Oh, and I should have totally been paying attention, because now my opponent actually... So the taunt did wear off the previous turn. Okay. So this is what happens when you don't pay attention to text. So my opponent actually gets the Trick Room off. So we are in a real sticky spot here. Yeah. Now what I might do is just... I think I can't really afford to protect with my... I'm going to have to double into the Porygon 2 with my Garchomp and my Kartana here. So I'm just going to go for a Dragon Claw and a Sacred Sword. Porygon 2 actually shows that it has Protect, so it totally throws us here. And we're going to see a Continental Crush come out onto one of my Pokemon, which is not ideal. And I wonder which one it's going to be. Probably the Kartana, I would imagine. Yeah. So you see the Continental Crush come out onto the Kartana, and we're going to actually end up doubling into the Protect on the Porygon 2, which is not ideal at all. So, I think what I'm going to do is go for a Protect on my Garchomp, and how am I going to do that? I don't think I can afford to really protect with my Garchomp here. I think I need to Dragon Claw into the Porygon 2 and Leaf Blade. Oh no, I'm locked, aren't I? I'm just going to double into the Porygon 2 again and hope that I can get through this turn somehow. So we see a Heavy Slam come out from the Gigalith onto the Kartana. It doesn't pick up the KO. Porygon 2 goes for the Ice Beam onto the Garchomp. It does pick up the KO, but we will get the Smart Strike, the Sacred Sword onto the Porygon 2. So we will get rid of the Porygon 2, which isn't ideal. We get a Beast Boost, and then we've got Arcanine to bring in now. And I think we've still got another couple of turns of Trick Room left. So we will get an Intimidate off onto the Gigalith, which is massive really. And what are our options here? I think I'm going to have to go for just a Wild Charge and just a Sacred Sword. Hope my Kartana survives this turn after the Intimidate. And yeah, so we see the Rock Slide come out. My Kartana does hang on, so as long as we don't flinch here, we potentially will pick up the win. So come on, Kartana. Oh no! So that is not great. And I don't think we can actually survive another Rock Slide, so I think my opponent's just played this way better than what I have. Caught me off guard with a lot of different techs that I just didn't expect to see. We can hope for a Rock Slide miss, but I don't think we're going to get it. Oh, my opponent actually goes for a Heavy Slam. This might not actually be enough. Oh, but it is. It's just enough. So it does take my Kartana out, unfortunately, and we lose that one. So great game to my opponent there. That was a really fun match. Just some things to take note of though. Make sure that you're keeping an eye on the text for when the taunt runs out, because that would make a massive difference. I think if I'd actually paid attention and saw that, I would have probably doubled into the Porygon 2 that turn. As I was saying, when that turn came around and I didn't see the taunt's effects wear off, I was more concerned about just trying to stall out the Gigaliths, protect that turn. So if I'd known at that point that the Porygon's taunt had worn off, it's all in hindsight, which is the brilliant thing, but I think I would have definitely doubled into the Porygon 2 to just ensure that we didn't get that Trick Room off, because that was my opponent's only out at that point of the game. If my opponent hadn't got the Trick Room off there, I would have been able to easily clean up with the combination of Kartana and Garchomp. But that is that. That was quite fun though, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. So what we'll do, we'll probably come back tomorrow again and have another couple of matches with this team and see how we get on, and then look at some other teams probably later in the week and see what we can find and stuff like that. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, obviously leave a like. It's massively appreciated, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I want to make this kind of video a more regular feature on the channel, just as a side thing as well, just to kind of give you guys more content and just, you know, to kind of keep making you aware of different teams and stuff like that. So hopefully doing this, it's going to provide you guys with that sort of thing. So we will be back tomorrow with another episode of the QR Showcase series that we're doing. And until then, guys, you take care of yourselves, and I will see you later. So until then, bye bye.